I don't know if you're like me, but I completely missed out on the TurboGrafx-16 back in the day. I used to see it in the store. I saw, the console in the box on sitting on the shelf, some of the games there. Never even stopped and really looked at them. I was heading right towards games that I wanted for either my NES or my Sega Genesis. And yeah, didn't even, never even played one till about 5 years ago when I got my TurboGrafx-16. And it came with a game, my favorite game on the TurboGrafx-16 actually. And I'm going to feature that game here later in the video. But there's a couple of things I wanted to do. I wanted to just show you 5 games out of my very, very small TurboGrafx-16 collection that I feel like any retro gamer would love to play. Then the second thing I wanted to do was start a discussion. I want to hear from you guys. Did you own a TurboGrafx-16 back in the day? Did you know a friend or a cousin who owned one? Had you ever played one? Even to this day, have you played a TurboGrafx-16? I'd really like to know that. So, get in the comments, let me know, and we'll discuss it, and it ought to be pretty fun, actually. So the first game that I wanted to show you today, this game rocks. And if you like Contra on the NES, well, on the Sega Genesis or the Super NES, you're going to like this game. It's a great run and gun game, and it does a few things different. And man, it's just awesome. And I love this game. Glad I discovered it. And that is Bloody Wolf. So let's check out a little bit of Bloody Wolf. The president has been kidnapped, and it is up to Eagle and Snake to rescue him. That is the plot of Bloody Wolf. This game rocks. And it really does feel like you're starring in your own late 80s action flick with maybe Arnold and Chuck Norris and Sylvester Stallone, Rambo. It's in the vein of that. You'll do several different things along the way on your quest to rescue the president. You're going to rescue different hostages, and that hostage that I just rescued gave me a key. You'll find things like this crate, and when you open the crate, it'll give you a muscle tablet, which actually adds another square to your life bar, gives you one more hit point. You'll be able to jump on motorcycles. There's exploding barrels that you can shoot. I mean, it really does have everything that a great action game should have. Now there's a few negatives, and the 2 knocks against this game. The first one is it is a single player game. And I don't know, you have to have a multi-tap to play 2-player games on the TurboGrafx-16 anyway. So, it would have been great to be able to play co-op on this game. That would have really rocked. The other negative is that if you get a lot of enemies on the screen at the same time, there is some pretty major slowdown. But it didn't really detract from my experience. I was having so much fun that it didn't detract from it. This game rocks, man. It does. And yeah, this game is completely and totally worth playing today. I highly recommend playing it. It's one of my favorite TurboGrafx-16 games. So Bloody Wolf, play it any way you can. The next game we're going to look at is a shoot 'em up, and I have not always been the biggest fan of shoot 'em ups, but I really like this one. I think it's a very good, solid arcade port. It's very faithful to the arcade, so yeah, let's take a look at Dragon Spirit. Dragon Spirit was released in 1989 by Namco. It is a really good shoot 'em up. I don't always get into shoot 'em ups, but this one is one that I really enjoy. And I think that it's just has to do with the vibrant graphics I love the soundtrack on this game, and it's really cool that you can pick up 1-ups and grow another head so that you have, you know, up to 3 heads like I have here. And it gets pretty powerful, but I will tell you that it is extremely hard to hang on to your power-ups, because when you get that extra head, it also increases your hitbox, and so you're a bigger target. There is a power-up which will actually shrink your dragon, and that is really cool. That does make the game a little easier, and this is a very difficult game in my opinion. Yeah, I don't know that I've made it past stage 3. I think I may have made it past stage 3 a few times. This is a game that I'll pop in and play for 20, you know, 30 minutes, up to 45 minutes. And I just love it. I love the music, I love the graphics, I like the feel of it, I like that you're a dragon, you know, that's a different twist on the shoot 'em ups. This was a very good arcade game as well, and this port does that arcade game justice. I know that it was out on the NES as well, and I think, this is what I've heard, I've never played it on the NES, but that it's quite a different game. I love this version, and yeah, I don't see the NES version, you know, appealing to me more than what this version was. So, Dragon Spirit is totally 100% worth playing today. The next game I wanted to highlight has turned into my favorite video pinball game. Now there's 2 of the Crush series out there for the TurboGrafx-16, Devil's Crush and Alien Crush. And I've played Devil's Crush on emulation, and I can just tell you that I prefer Alien Crush. A lot of people prefer Devil's Crush, and it's a higher priced game for some reason, but I really like Alien's Crush, and I think I prefer it. So let's take a look at Alien Crush. Alien Crush was released in 1989 by Hudson Soft. It's a very cool video pinball game, and I think this is right now my favorite video pinball game. It's just really cool to turn this on, kick back and chill and play some video pinball, and I love the setting. I love the setting. The colors, the graphics, everything is appealing to me about this game. Now there's 2 different ways to play it. You can play it with a slow ball, or you can play it with a fast ball. I prefer the fast ball, even though, you know, I'm not a wizard at this game yet, but that's what I prefer. It feels more like real pinball that way. There's also several different bonus rooms, hidden bonus rooms that you can get, and the more you play it, you'll discover those, and you can get more points, and that's really the goal of this game, is to get the highest score. And it's just, I don't know, it's just really cool to play. You do have 2 different music tracks to play, which kind of adds some variety to it as well. But yeah, this is one of those cool games that I missed out on back in the day, and it is very much worth playing today. It's addictive. You start playing it and you just, you're like, okay, one more time, you know, let me try to beat that high score that I got. It's just really cool. Very relaxing game, and just a lot of fun. Good sound effects, good music, good graphics. I highly recommend Alien Crush, and it is very much worth playing today. Alien Crush. Now this isn't a top 5 TurboGrafx-16 list, simply because I haven't played enough TurboGrafx-16 games to make that list and to think that I could, you know, put out a competent list. But I am going to tell you my favorite TurboGrafx-16 game that I have played, and it came with my system, and one of the reasons I pulled the trigger on it because I wanted to play this game, and that is The Legendary Axe. This game is tremendous. you know, if you play anything on the TurboGrafx-16, I just recommend playing the Legendary Axe. It is a must-own, a must-play for TurboGrafx-16 fans. Anybody who's interested in the system, man, check it out any way you can. But let's take a look at the Legendary Axe. If your only reason to own a TurboGrafx-16 is to play the Legendary Axe, then that's reason enough, in my opinion. This is my favorite TurboGrafx-16 game, and I will say that I haven't beat this game. It is tough. The later levels get really tough, but it's good. It's very good. You'll find different things to help you out along the way, and you'll find health in some of the totems that you smash. And you will also find a piece that'll make your axe faster, swing faster. You'll find one, and the main mechanic in this game is when you find the piece that will allow you to charge your attack. And you don't charge it actually, it charges up until you hit your attack button. So if you wait to hit your attack button, you'll see that bar charges up, and when it's full, it's a harder hit. But there's a little strategy to it, because some enemies you're better off not charging that, not letting it charge before you swing the axe. Some of them you're better off swinging it very quickly. So you have to kind of know the enemies in the game. The soundtrack is just amazing. For a 16-bit game, the music is just awesome. I love the atmosphere of this game. I love the level design. I love the levels, the enemies. You know, you've even got the swinging on the rope type of gameplay. And you know, it is a little reminiscent of some of the Castlevania games. You know, I would put it in that same league. Now, this is a great game, and one that I missed out completely back in the day. And I just can't recommend this game enough. It is completely worth playing today. And if there's only one TurboGrafx-16 game that you play, it should be the Legendary Axe. Now, we've already covered one shoot 'em up tonight, but this next one that we're going to cover, and the last game we're going to look at tonight, has quickly become my favorite shoot 'em up of all time. I love this game. It's excellent, and I can recommend it to anybody, even if you're not a shoot 'em up fan. So that game is Blazing Lasers. So let's take a quick look at Blazing Lasers. Blazing Lasers was released in 1989 by Hudson Soft, and it is right now my favorite shooter that I have. I love this game. It is so well polished. The gameplay is just so good. The other thing is that I'm not a real great shoot 'em up player, but I feel like this game has the perfect challenge for me. It's challenging enough to where I haven't beat it yet. I've got pretty far in the game. I know that if I put the time in, I can beat it. I do like the bosses that you face. I love the weapons that you can pick up. And this is the one shoot 'em up game that I have played to where you have power-ups, you know, pretty plentiful. They're pretty plentiful, and you can get shields to protect you so that if you take a couple of hits, it's not going to destroy you. If you lose a life later on in the game, there's still power-ups that you can get to power up your weapon, so you don't feel like it's hopeless. I think that might be some of the reason that I haven't got into a lot of shoot 'em ups. It's just because you'll be playing along and then you lose your weapon, and man, you know, it's game over. It's not that way in Blazing Lasers. Yeah, so this is just really an incredible experience, one that I completely missed out on back in the day, of course, because I missed out on all the TurboGrafx-16 games back in the day. But this game, I'm so glad that I discovered it, and that's really what this is about, is finding a lot of fun games that maybe you missed out on back in the day when they first came out. Blazing Lasers is completely 100% worth playing today, and I can recommend it to anybody, even if you're not a big fan of shoot 'em ups. this is a great game. So, Blazing Lasers. Well, we've covered 5 games that I feel are 100% worth playing today on the TurboGrafx-16. I hope you enjoyed it, and I really do want to hear from you guys. I want to hear if you knew anybody that had a TurboGrafx-16, if you had one back in the day. Man, get in the comments. Let's have a good discussion about it. It's always fun to talk to people and hear their experiences and their memories. So, yeah, that'd be great. So I just wanted to thank you so much for taking time out of your day and joining me, and thank you very much if you made it to the end of this video. Really do appreciate it, and I hope you guys have a great and safe rest of your day.